All right. Well. Well, we might be back. We might not be. I don't know. But we'll see. I feel like we're doing a redo. Let's see if are we back now? That's not it. Hold on. We'll get back to your questions, everything, and you know, if we're good, we're good. We're back. You know, I don't know. There's this technology here that is all backwards and upside down. So I don't know. It works sometimes. We might have a few minutes to work on our game. So if we go dark, sorry about that. All backwards and upside down. It's right, it is. It works sometimes. All right. How long have you golfed for? Question. I started, let's see, 23, almost 30 years now. Almost 30 years. It'll be 30 years this summer. So I think my first few years I went from nothing to really good pretty fast. And what I did was I just started playing, and you know, I was 18 at the time, so I could hit the ball pretty far because I had, you know, swing speed. But it was all over the planet. I was in the bushes all the time. So what I did was I just would work on my short game because I needed to learn how to hit the ball out from under the trees back into the fairway the best I could. That's why, believe it or not, I'm a pretty good long iron player, and it's a 5-iron here. It's because I had to learn all these weird, you know, punch shots. I had to learn a low punch cut shot. And because I needed those shots to get out from under the trees and back into the fairway. So I would practice those a lot, and then I had to have a good short game so I could chip and pitch the ball close to the hole so I wouldn't shoot a million. Sometimes I did, unfortunately. All right. Good, good, good. What's the number one thing you would say to a kid during their first tournament? All right, if that's from I Am Snowy. So I'm Snowy. So my kids have been playing tournaments since they were really little, 5 years old, 6 years old. And they just played this weekend after 2 years of not playing golf at all. So I really looked at it as if it was their first tournament. So I just told them the goal today, just see how far you can hit the ball. Let's hit it as far as you can on every ball with, you know, when you're hitting your driver. Just crush it. Let me know. Let me know if you can hit a 300-yard drive. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. Just swung hard. That's what I would tell them. Have, you know, there's that have fun. Yeah, I want you to have fun, but I also, you know, that's kind of vague. How are you going to have fun? I want to give them something specific. So I just said, hey, I don't care if you shoot a million. And they did. They both shot some of their highest tournament rounds ever. I think it was 84 and an 86. And they're normally, you know, 74. So, but they haven't played in 2 years. Literally, that was the first time. That was their first full round of golf in 2 years. They played 9 holes about a week ago. And that was it. So they have 9 holes and then inner tournament. Bomb it. Swing hard. Is there a circus training facility behind your house? Sometimes I see people. Yes, there was. And they had sold their house and they rebuilt the house, and then they were still back there. They just tore down and moved, and now whoever's moving in is going to have a nice pool. They're building the pool back there. So they were, it's a Guyana trapeze school. whatever. They would train a lot of celebrities over there too. Would come and do whatever, high flying circus. It's pretty cool. Where do you think the best place to golf, year round or seasonal? I would say Hawaii. Year round. Arizona is always nice, but it gets really hot in the summer, obviously. And California is great. That's where I live. We play year round here. It just, for the last couple months, it's been super rainy. So that's been difficult to get out, and things have been sloppy. So the sun's just starting to come back out. So we're good here year round. What else we got? I've been working on the quarter swing at the range, but I still chunk it on the course. What should I do? I've been playing for 18 years. I'm 50 now. Back problems. Okay, here's what I would do. Dejan. There's a number of reasons you're probably chunking it. I love the quarter swing or half swing, staying right in here. But another reason we chunk it is we move off the ball. So you move back off the ball and you stay back, and then you hit behind the ball. That's a big problem. What I would do is, when I set up, especially on the course, I kick this back knee in, okay, right there. And I want to keep it there. It's going to limit your hip turn, but a lot of times you hip turn and you move off the ball. So let's flare that toe out a little bit and kick that knee in, and just try to keep that in during your swing. That way you're staying on top of the ball a little bit more. Your weight isn't transferring to the outside of your back foot. Just kick that knee in and try to keep it there. That's what I would do. Okay. I get this question all the time. Have I ever launched a ball in the neighbor's yard? Yes, many. Sometimes, I go way back by the house and I punch like 3-irons, like 50 yards, and I try to hit it in the net. And sometimes I hit it a little too high and it goes over, unfortunately. And then sometimes it goes through the edges of the net that aren't tucked in very nice, so then those go through. And then sometimes I'm hitting a wedge and it just goes over. Those are the worst. Okay. Hit my wedge short of target. Hit it straight, but what's the problem? Okay, so you're hitting your wedges short. Yeah, so one, you have to know your distance. How far are you going to carry everything? And then adjust for that. Maybe you just need more club, which could be it. Or you could be flipping your wrists a little bit right in here, and which is common. So you flip your wrists and you just get this high kind of weak shot. So I do that turn the screw video where I'm back here and I'm thinking about turning my screwdrivers in it, and I'm turning it as if I'm loosening the screw. It's a turn screw. So what that does is, then that club, it would get, if you set up, let's say neutral, and then you turn the screw, your hand's gonna be way ahead of that club face. So it's gonna de-loft that club quite a bit, and you could flight it down really. What I would do to practice at, let's say on course, is, let's say you have 100 yards, whatever, and then take maybe 2 extra clubs for now. So let's say that's a sand wedge, then you go gap wedge, pitching wedge, and then I want a 3/4 swing, really turn that screw down, and so it's a long, like pitch shot right in there. And that's what I would do and then start feeling that flight. It's a little easier to do it on a slower swing. And then work up your distance from that point. And let's see. Okay, here, I love these questions. Just getting my 11-year-old into golf. How should I show him to lead with the hips and not the hands? Good question. So that's always tricky to give too much instruction to the kids. Obviously you want to lead, you want to get those hips turning here, but maybe just do this little drill where they just get their hips kind of turned here and then set up and have them hit shots like this. Okay, that's a good way. A lot of good drills. I would have them step forward and then swing and then step and swing here. But when they step, I want them to turn that toe open right there. So they step, turn that toe open. So it looks like this, like that. And then they'll start feeling that hip. But I would really just say, hey, you're gonna swing hard as you can. Slowly get them thinking about their hips opening, turning. I mean, yeah, a lot of kids swing like this and they don't really turn the hips. Oh yeah, you got to get them cranking out. So that step drill open is great. Right here, just boom, turn it open. Okay, I like a line drill. This actually helps with that because they get them moving. This is one of my favorites. I'll do it with 3 balls, but you line up, I would line up like 10 balls and have them, they're here, and they just come back and keep moving because they're moving, so it's going to help them. That's a great one. And then the last one is a little harder. It was the where you're here and then you're turning your head down and getting your ear down to the ball. So I call it hitting with your ear. And if you turn your head, your hips are going to open anyways. So that's a good one. And you can't stay closed and do that. It's a little harder to do, but I would work on those. I know you have a video about how you made your range setup, but can you do a recap video or something? Uh-oh. Did we die? The internet's lagging. Just yeah. So maybe I can do that. Recap video on my net. Just got PVC pipes up there. And a net with some bungees holding it together. You know, there's like a million different ways you can do that. So, you know, I don't know if mine's the best way. It's okay. The problem is the PVC pipes. What happens is the ball, if it hits the pipes, it ricochets off pretty good. So I had to put some foam insulation, but it doesn't do the greatest job. So I can't. My computer, the internet is messed up. I don't know why. Once again, you know, technically, it's probably because there's like 400 Wi-Fi signals around here. And then, let's see, I can go through some questions that were here. Let me try to get to those. All right. Okay, do you find that hitting into the net can cause bad habits since you are not able to actually see the ball flight? I find this with my own swing when I do a bit. Okay, so I mean, I don't. I think hitting into the net gives you a sense of your golf swing, let's say much more than you would have at the range, because at the range you're looking at ball flight and you're seeing that and you're not as in tune. So all I got here is how am I making contact with that ball? What's my ball kind of, And then where does it start? And even when I'm at the range, you know, I'm really focused on my starting point. Like I'll put a couple alignment sticks up in front of me, you know, here, here, and here, and I try to hit through them because all I care about is where that ball starts. And so I could do that here, you know, there's little areas of the net. I'm just trying to really, there, that's great. And then when I go to the range, I mean, most of the time I'm hitting it the same, and then my balls do. So that'll help me from seeing any bad habits. But really going to the range, that can really cause a lot of bad habits because you have a marker out there, 150, let's say, and you're not reaching it with your 150 club, and so you start swinging harder and you think something's wrong or you're trying to figure that out. But here I don't have that issue. All I'm trying to do is hit solid ball contact. So, but I would go to the once a month. If you do all network, at least hit the range once a month or right before you play and just kind of dial it in and say, okay, I'm playing a fade today, or the ball's cutting more than normal, or it's today I'm hitting a draw. And then I try to get that. But as far as my swing and my flexibility and my rhythm, the net is great. How much do you golf in a week, games or range? So, man, not as much as I want to. So I golfed yesterday. I'm trying to play more now. I'm trying to get on the course more. So probably once a week right now. And then I'm shooting videos. So that's my short game stuff. That's really where I'm doing my short game, or my other practice is in the videos. So it's a lot of work and practice at the same time. What's my go-to stretching routine? I'm not doing as much stretching as I should, to be honest. It's usually just warming up my swing, but I'll do some back stretches usually before I go. Okay, I have a swing issue that prevents me from keeping my left arm completely straight. I chicken wing. Okay, you don't have to keep your left arm straight. There's awesome swings, world-class players that bend quite a bit. So, yeah, don't be afraid to get a little bend in there. And I always say, if you're older, an older player, or you have some injuries, I like bending more stuff. Okay, just all around, like really get it loose in here. Don't be afraid of that. Just got to get used to it. You might be a little more inconsistent, but once you get used to it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Keep those knees bent, everything bent. Bend that elbow. You'll be good. Let's see. Let me change that here. Let's see if we can get some of your questions. Okay. I know you've shown it many times, but can you demonstrate over the top fix? Okay, over the top fix. There's not one fix for everybody. Everybody kind of interprets things differently. So what will work for you might not work for me. And so everybody's a little different with that over the top. Some people really respond well to just trying to swing out there. Okay, swing out there. So I'm going to take it back and I'm going to try to get my club to swing out towards the stick out there. And then that forces you from here to bring it. Some people respond really well to that. Others need something else. gosh, flock of parrots flew by. Others respond to keeping your arm on your chest at the top of your backswing and rotating your body and let that club just fall naturally. Okay, so that would be the feeling of keeping my arm on the chest the whole time and just leaving it there. Some people like that. Okay. I also do a drill where you just take it back and you just let it fall. Take it back. This is your feeling. I want you to try to get there. So you're here, boom. Okay, that's a great. That one works for me. That little drill. You know, I'm here, and I just feel this. That's the feeling. But everybody's slightly different. But those are some of my top things that I like to do. Okay, no, do you work out? If so, golf is specific. I did a video on exercise and golf. What I do a little cardio work. Sometimes I go jogging. I hurt my Achilles, so they're just almost back to 100%. Jog, and then I'll do some yoga stretches. I like to do a lot of push-ups. So that's what I do. I'll do like 100 push-ups for my workout. So I like to do that. But there's all kinds of different golf workouts. And there is a guy I've been he's a trainer, so we might do a little video together soon. We'll see. Where do you live? Los Angeles. I'm having problems hitting off my toes, which causes me to hit it thin. Anything to help? I have a problem hitting off my toes. Okay, I think you mean you're on your toes too much. Okay, and which would mean you would lift up. So thin usually is your spine angle. Okay, you're here, so you hit and you're like, ugh, right there. That's called losing your spine angle. So what I would do would be, one, yeah, your weight should be balls of your feet right here. So I would start like this. If you're hitting it thin, tuck that butt in, okay, and set up like this. So you're rounded back like this. So you're a lot taller to start, whereas a lot of people are really low in here. And if you're low, you're gonna come up. If you're tall, you're gonna come down. So tuck that butt in, stand tall, and then try to come down at it. Also, start with the club above the ball here, okay? On your backswing, or on your setup, you're right above. Okay? You can even give it a little motion if you want. But start above. Because if you start above, your brain just says, oh, in order for me to hit that ball, I have to get lower. So start up here. Good 6 inches above the ball. Now if you're hitting it thin, it's because you're just not coming down enough. But you are coming down. So I start up here. As hard as you want. You can even give it a little push here. Then you have to come down. Do that like 100 times. And then when you're down, just lift that club slightly above the ground. Just off the ground, and then do it. Oh, you won't thin it again. So that's your drill. That's a great drill for thinning that ball. Okay. When playing my 60 wedge, I feel that the ball rolled up the face, so losing distance. Any tips for more solid contact? Yeah, we went over this earlier. Might have been in the other video that died out on us. But when you're playing a wedge, if you're feeling that ball roll up the face, it's usually because you're cupping that wrist on the follow through. So you're releasing that like that, and I do that a lot. So I have a pitching wedge here. I would start with this, and it's just that turn the screw move. You're back here, you're turning that screw like this, like you're loosening a screw, whoosh, okay, and driving down through the ball. Okay, and then do it with like a half a swing at first, and feel that. And you're just constantly more. If you still feel it, roll at the face. Get your hands up a little higher, and really focus on turning that screw as you go through. So you're feeling like that's really coming around like that. And that'll help keep that shaft ahead of the club head. And the more left it goes, you just got to come inside out a little bit. A little more. Just keep working that short swings on those when you practice it. Have I ever played with Christo from My Swing? No, I haven't. I have not played with him. Don't know him. Okay, two. Uh-oh. I have a problem chunking the shot. Yeah. A lot of people do that. So when you're chunking stuff, is it chips? Let's say it's a chip shot or something, which is common. It happens a lot. So what you want to do is make sure your weight is forward, okay? Ball's center, put that ball slightly back in your stance. Weight is on that front foot, okay? And so that bottom of your swing arc should be right up in here, okay? And then if you need to open the face a little bit, do that, because that adds a little bounce to the club. And don't be afraid to hit that bounce before the ball, right? That's fine. That's not a chunk. That's how the bounce is supposed to be used right there. The bounce should hit the ground before the ball. So those are all fine. You'll be fine with that. How do I know what bounce to have on my wedges? Okay, good question. How do you know? So bounce is one of those things that's custom to your game. So for me, on my 60 right now, I have 4 degrees of bounce, which is very, very little. And then I have a 54, which has 8 degrees of bounce, which is not a lot, but I like that, because then I could open this up. I like to open the 54 and use it around the greens, a little bit off the greens, and then when I open it, it gets from 8 to maybe 10 to 12 degrees of bounce. So that's great for, you know, based on the steepness or shallowness of your swing. The more shallow your swing, the less bounce you should use. The steeper you are, you would want. Also the conditions you play in. If you have sand, then whatever your sand club is, you'll want more bounce on that. And then what I like to do is, if I have a sand wedge, which I do, I have one that has 12 degrees of bounce. So in the summer when the sand gets a lot fluffier and they start, or I'm at a really soft sandy course, I'll put that one in the bag. Then I go a lower bounce on my 56 or my 54. So I try not to have two giant bounces, like a 60 and a 56 or 54. I don't want those to be the same bounce. And so I mix it up, and then my gap wedge would be similar to any other club in my bag, because I hit that more from the fairway. I want that to act more like the rest of the clubs in my bag. Same with my pitching wedge. And that's my 4 wedges set up usually. I do not wear a bucket hat. My son is 11 and I have recently gone through a growth spurt. Anything I should keep an eye on? Current shots are going way more right than they had in the past. So, yeah, Lee, my son, huge difference from not playing in 2 years. One of them, he was 12, now he's 14. And yeah, need a new club, so we did that. But just keep an eye on, I'm assuming he's right-handed. Those growth spurts will equal kind of a little more different swing. So it could come over the top. It could be opening that face a little bit. or maybe those shafts are just too flexible now, so that face is staying open on his shots, as opposed to, you know, like when he makes impact with the ball, the softer the speed, it could be opening that club face. That could be an issue. Yeah, okay, Matt Hart. So we went over this. He has an annoying habit of standing up when he hits the ball. And so what I like to do is say, hey, instead of standing up when you hit the ball, stand up way before you hit the ball. Stand up at first. Because if you're standing up, you can't stand more up. So this would be your drill. Stand up, set up, and then swing. Because you won't, if you stand up, like if I'm standing up, like I can't hit the ball. So stand up, stand all the way up. There's your drill. And practice coming down. Here we go, just stand up, boom. This is stand up drill, baby, right here. That, because ultimately you want to get to a place where you're here. This is impact. Elbow in, you're down here. And then get here and practice this. And stay there. Stay there. Learn that follow through. It's not easy, but it can be done. Who do you like this weekend at the Dell? Oh my gosh. Good question. That match play stuff is hard. You just never know. Good question. I think DJ is going to be a top pick. Who else? I would say a guy like Xander Schauffele would be a good pick. Is he playing? I think so. He would be a guy I'd keep an eye on, just because he's got a solid, consistent game. But anytime you run into a hot golfer, you're done. I don't care who you are. Thanks from South Africa. But I'm not seeing your questions right now, just FYI, because my computer's freaking out on me again. Let's see if I can fix that here in a sec. But yeah, I don't know about Jordan, man. That kid, he concerns me right now. Seems to have lost his way. You know, I mean, he's still on tour. I don't think he's not going to be on tour ever. But his putting, he's got some major putting problems at the moment, sadly. So here's my theory with that, with putting issues like that. You go through this over analytical phase where every little thing, you know, he's a cross-handed putter, his head is kind of kicked weird, and he's, you know, he's missing all these short putts. But then he has some great rounds, and then he has some horrible rounds, and I think what you need to do is, my theory is always, hey, what did you do when you were a kid or when you first started playing and you just putted, you know, you were putting great? I would go back to whatever you did there, because I would never change that. I would always stick with the original formula. And maybe they're trying to go back there, I don't know. But if you weren't a cross-handed guy, or you were, or the grip, or whatever, I would go back really to the beginning. And then I would always have a goal for putting. So, like, sometimes when I'm off, really off, my goal, I would just say, okay, today I'm going to play golf. I just care. I'm never going to leave a putt short. That's my goal. Or I'm going to hit every putt 1 foot past the hole. That's my goal. Every time I putt, 1 foot past the hole. So it just gets your mind off of going in the hole. Like, I just want to be 1 foot past the hole. There's a bunch of things you could do like that. Okay, my questions are back. My questions are back. So let me get a few more. Okay. Hello, South Africa. Hope you're well. My son is going to try out for the high school team as an 8th grader. Any tips for him? Yes. Okay, so 8th grade, going out for a high school team. So he's stepping up. I'm going to assume he could play. I wouldn't put my 8th grader in with high schoolers. Like, I wouldn't set him up for failure, right? You don't do that. But if he could play, and you think he can make the team, or you think he could do well, that's awesome. Then I would say, again, I would work probably 80% of my game on the short game right now, because you can always straighten out a drive pretty quickly. That can be done, assuming he has swing speed. But I would spend like those 30, 40-yard pitch shots. I would work on putting. And then I would tell him, hey, what I would tell my son is, I don't care if you in last place today. Don't worry about that. What I care about is your mental state. Okay? Mentally, all I care is that you are. Okay? And so you're telling yourself, you're being positive, and just have that attitude of, hey, I'm not going to let anybody affect my game. I'm going to just play my game, and I'm going to have a positive attitude the whole time, regardless. Don't let your game dictate your personality, your attitude out there. Let your attitude stand. I just like to open that or keep it square, so that's the one I've always used. That's me, but it's personal preference. What is my favorite drill? My favorite drill, man, I do a lot of drills. My favorite drill, okay. I do this ladder drill. That's my favorite drill, and I do it with most of my clubs. So I would just do first shot right there. Second shot, it's got to go past that in the air. Next one, it's got to go past that. Okay. Next one, it's got to go a little longer than that one. So this one has to hit. So then I'm right there, and I just keep working it up. Right there, and I'm really trying to go 5 yards at a time. Let's say there's a 5-iron. 5 yards. You'll get so good, so fast doing stuff like this. I never see people do this at the range. Right there. I don't know why. This is the best. This is probably my. So then, and I go all the way to my full swing. Once I'm at max distance, I'm like, okay, now I got to go 5 yards farther. And I try to give it everything I got. And then I'll back it down and go the shorter. You want to get great ball contact, forget it. That's going to be your ticket. Oh, is my voice cutting in and out a lot? Show me your swing was improved game. Awesome. Thanks, Lewis. Dejan. Love the chickens and dogs. They're funny in some of the videos. They got to get some airtime. Yeah, they just roll on in whenever they feel like it. It's funny. All right, who do you guys like? Who are your picks for the for this weekend match play? Give it to me. Who do you guys think is going to win? My audio not doing. Yeah, we've had major technical issues. I don't know why. That's just life. Life in the land of technology. So as you guys break out from around the country in cold weather, Bubba, I don't know about that guy. Phil's group, DJ, yeah, I like DJ. I'd little Davey swing. I'd little Dave swing the way forward. What? Hey, it's Chris. I've been working on getting shaft lean more distance. It's been working, but I'm hitting a little too fat. Can you help me with this? Looking forward to. Okay. All right, Chris. Yeah. If you're still hitting it fat, man, it's probably just too much sway. Too much sway in your body. So you could stand on something on your back foot. Something I like. Put a ball down there. Just kind of keep everything in. Can't sway off that back foot. Stay forward. Stay right over top of that ball. Okay? That's what I like. Stay on top of that ball. Don't sway off the ball. If you're hitting it fat, that's what happens. I see it so many times. The reason you're fat, you should come back here. Once you stay on top of the ball, and then drive those hips forward with the turn. And then so you want to be, as you impact, on the inside of that back foot at impact. If you're on the outside, you're hitting behind the ball. Inside of that foot at impact. Right in there. Good. And practice, let's say there's a 5-iron, practice short shots. Like if you hit that one fat, now you know your problem is right in here. But if you're taking it back here, oh, now you hit it fat. Now you know your problem happens back farther in your swing, or you shift off the ball later on in your swing. And so you got to find that space, that spot, and then focus on that in your swing. So you might be good here, and then you know, oh, this is where I come off the ball, right in here. So now I'm going to be here, and now that's where I'm going to focus, coming, feeling like I'm leaning forward. So fine, now I lean forward. And don't be afraid to lean forward. I mean, you don't want to go like this. That'll be no good, right? But as you come back and you're turning, keep that weight on the inside of that back foot. How far am I away from my net? It's about, I don't know, 15 feet right here. And I go all the way back to maybe 30 feet with my driver or long irons. But this is fine. I like, this spot is great. And I can put my swing caddy here and it'll pick up my yardage. The swing caddy is much better at the range, but it does a pretty accurate job here. I like Brooks Koepka. I can hit, okay. Okay, I'm 5'11" with a 6'1" wingspan. Do you think a shorter driver shaft will work for me? Yeah. So I'm shorter with the longer arms for my height. So these are standard length, but I'm 2 degrees flat in my setup. So that's my angle of my club here is 2 degrees flat because my hands are lower. So with the driver, I think I'm a 1/2 inch short with my driver. So if it's all where your arms are with in relation to the ground. They're a lot lower. Yeah, you might want to go shorter shaft. But I'd get fitted so you know exactly where you need to be. Because everybody's slightly different. Their build. So some guys are short with short arms. They might need longer clubs. Right? It's not so much on your height. You're right. I'm glad you told me your wingspan, because that's going to say your arm length. But if you have a wider chest, that would affect your arm length as well. Like you could have short arms but a super wide chest. And so it's really how far your hands are from the ground will determine your driver and your club length that you need. Hope that helps. All right, we're about ready to wrap it up today through all these technical issues. Hopefully we got those worked out for next time. I'll answer a couple more questions. They come on in, and then we'll be good. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. So this is your drill for the week for everybody. Stand a little taller, club above the ball, do a little push forward, and then swing. Right there. Push forward, swing. Stand tall, butt in, arch that back, push forward. You're good. Okay, drill of the week. Butt in, push forward. And you're good. Are you gonna? All right. The S3s this year, maybe. I played with them yesterday. I really like the ball. They go as far as any other ball. I like them around the greens. Great feel. I could work them. And I use their white ball on course. But I mean, I don't mind the other colors. But yeah, I'll use them for a while. And you're welcome. Dejan, okay, last question. How to be confident with the lob wedge? You've got to practice. You've got to put in the practice. 100%. Practice, practice, practice. And then when you're on the course, okay, how do you become? You've got to tell yourself you don't care what happens. You got to not care, right? You got to not care. Like, I don't care. Whatever. Like the first time you asked a girl out, you were whatever you were doing, right? You were so scared. You're like, oh, what if they say no? See? And then they did, right? But if you walk, hey, I don't care what she says, then it doesn't matter. Then you're good. Then usually good things happen. Poor analogy. But that's the mentality you have to have with the lob wedge. Is, hey, I don't care. I don't care what happens. Whatever. I'll hit it again. If I chunk it, I'm going to, good. You paid for the round of golf. You get as many shots as you get. So use that to your advantage. I don't really care. And then slowly over time, that it'll just be natural. You'll be so confident. But you just got to not care. So stop caring so much. It'll be good. There you go. I think we made it. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. More videos coming this week. We'll see you later.